Hey YouTubers, Electric Adventures here with a response video. NinjaBearHug did a top 10 platform games of all time video earlier in the week, and I thought I'd do a response. Haven't done a top anything for quite some while, so they're always good fun. They always make you think, and it's very hard doing a list, especially 10, I'd like to point out. And like him, I have limited it to only one game in a particular series or, character. Technically there is one that's a little bit of an overlap, but I think you'll forgive me. I've done it across quite a few systems. I've also taken into account that he was interested in games that he might not have played. Now of course he will have played some of these games, but there might be a couple there that he might be interested in. So without further ado, so I have done them and I have ranked them, which was actually harder than writing down the list of names itself. So as with all things, rank is subjective, and if I probably did it again, I'll probably do them in a different order. And after I do this, I'll probably think of some more. So if I did it again in a couple of days, there'll probably be different items in there. So without further ado, number 10, and looking at my little list down here, is Tomb Raider. And yes, it's it's definitely a platform game in the 3D genre. It introduced a lot of different climbing and leaping things, and I'm specifically talking about the PS1 version, which is the the very first Tomb Raider game, and obviously the newest one has gone more along the Uncharted path, which is a little bit of a break from Tomb Raider tradition, but it still is a similar game. But Tomb Raider, I've played most of the games in the series and enjoyed them, so it definitely deserves to be on my top 10. And sorry, I should have actually written them down in order rather than just put numbers. And number 9, this is a borderline platformer to me, because it is more like a single screen arcade game, but it is Burger Time. Burger Time is a game that I collect across multiple systems. One of my favourite versions so far is actually the Atari 7800 version, which is a homebrew release. It has quite detailed graphics and everything like that. The sound is a little lacking because I don't have the special version with the extra sound chip in it. And I would rank the Coleco version as the next best version, but Burger Time is my number 9. And looking at my list now, the list is a new entry for me because this entire series I was completely ignorant of until I got onto YouTube and started learning a little bit more about the NES and everything like that. But the version I'm going to pick is the one that, the only game in the series that I have. And of course it's for one of my favourite systems, the MSX and MSX2, and it is Vampire Killer or Castlevania, which is the original Castlevania game. I've gotten into that and I quite enjoy that, and it's got quite nice graphics, and is a really good classic platformer with a bit of exploring element in there to keep you going, so not just a straight single screener, so definitely deserves to be on my list. And now number 7 is Wonderboy in Monsterland. And for either, I don't have the Mega Drive version, I only have the Master System version. I have played it on the PC Engine, but I don't own a copy, so I don't count that one. So the one I'm in particular will be putting on here will be the Master System version. A great game. It is an RPG platformer, but that still counts. There's a lot of jumping around, and it follows on from the previous part of the Wonderboy series, which is more straight platforming. But it's the one in the series that's my favourite out of that particular series, and a great lot of games. Of course, NinjaBearHug has every single Master System game, so he knows all about that one. Now number 6, back to 3D World, is the original game that came out for the Nintendo 64, and my Mario game that I'm going to select, which is Mario 64. I bought that game with my Nintendo 64, and fell in love with it straight away. The game's got so much depth, and it really did take platforming to a new level. You can play that game for ages, and it keeps on making you want to go back and complete it all the time. Now number 5, and this is a recent pickup for myself, but I did play this game a lot when I was younger. Just that I played the store copy, never owned a copy myself because I never afford them. And it was one of those very recent pickup videos, and it's the Goonies for the MSX. I mean, it's a great game, got great music. It's another Explorer RPG type platformer. We've got to go around, collect objects, and rescue the other Goonies kids. It's got really good graphics on the MSX. There is actually another really good MSX platformer, which I'll do as a side note, but I don't have a copy of it. I have a copy of it for the Coleco, sitting on the shelf behind there, but it's for the Super Game module, so I can't play it yet. So I haven't included that one yet, because I don't want to preempt a gameplay. But that is another really good platformer, and obviously now available for Coleco because it's been ported from the MSX and the original MSX. I'm not sure whether, and it's Kings Valley by the way, and I'm not sure whether it's been ported to any other platforms. Now we're getting down to the short end of the list. Now number 4. Now I couldn't not include a game from the 8-bit computer era that defined the platforming genre. Now I'm not going to go with Manic Miner because Manic Miner was a good game, but it was only so size, and obviously incredibly frustrating. Its sequel, Set Willy, which is the game that I'm going to select, is just as frustrating, but it had a lot more depth to it. As you notice, there's a bit of a pattern here. I do like games rather than straight platformers that have a bit of depth, although one item on the list doesn't have as much depth as the others. So Set Willy, great game, can be incredibly frustrating. You really need to take your time with it. And work your way through, and available for lots and lots of platforms, but obviously mainly for retro computers rather than consoles. Right, now to the top 3. Now people who've watched my channel for a while may know that I'm a fan of Rainbow Islands, and the main love of that game came so that I had a version for the Atari ST, and it was really good. And I used to play it a lot. I used to play it, my wife used to play it as well. It's another one of those games we played together. Actually, the Atari ST and probably the PS2 have my most gaming memories with my wife. It's just a really great platformer, nice and colourful, nice music. Now I don't have the Atari ST version, not a real copy. I never did have one back in the day. It was a pirate copy, and I haven't managed to track one down. I have been collecting it across multiple systems. I have it for the PSP, but I'd say, and I know that the Mega Drive version is really good, but I don't have that one yet. But the one I got probably about 6 months ago, that's actually really good, is Rainbow Islands for the Sega Saturn. And it's quite a good polished version. Now, I haven't seen the arcade game of this one as well, so I take it the Sega Saturn one is pretty damn close to the arcade game. But Rainbow Islands is a great game to play and get into. Obviously, the sequel to Bubble Bobble, but it has a bit more to it than Bubble Bobble. Bubble Bobble is probably better two-player. Rainbow Islands is more a solo player game. But Rainbow Islands has got a bit more to it, including quite good boss fights. Right, so number 2. So I couldn't do a top 10 platform list without having, of course, original Donkey Kong. Obviously Mario appears in Donkey Kong, but we're not going to count that. And the best home version that I've played, I mean, the Nintendo NES version actually plays really well. And the Coleco version is not too bad, but all of those versions and the Atari 8-bit ones not too bad, but they all suffer from the same problem. They're all missing a ramp or a level. So the best home version, as long as you turn the volume down once again, is the Atari 7800 version. And it's actually quite a faithful version of the arcade game, and it's pretty much as close as you're going to get on a home system, unless you play, the arcade on MAME on a PC. And Donkey Kong's great. It's a great pick up and play game. It's not very long, little depth and involved, but it's hard. It's not easy to get through, and it provides a challenge, but it keeps you coming back for more. So good old Donkey Kong on whatever the system of your choosing. And number 1, what's Electric Adventures number 1? Well, it's the one that I thought of first, and then kept on going, yes, no, I've definitely got to include that game. and it's another game that I sort of actually do collect. Every time I see a copy of this on a system, I'll grab it. Not that I have a tremendous amount of them, but it's actually Lode Runner. Lode Runner is a very simple game. Came out a little bit after, so Apple Panic introduced the concept of digging up the bases of areas and allowing them on, the things that were chasing you to drop into there. Lode Runner took that a step further, and the one thing that it gave you was, well, actually two things. One thing was the original game came with 100 levels, so that's a tremendous amount of game, and they had some memory left over, so they included a level designer. And there are lots of Lode Runner games, and quite a lot of them came out on the MSX system. So once again, I had access to it, so I played it more. And you can play Lode Runner for hours. I have various different versions of Lode Runner. I actually haven't got back the original Lode Runner for the MSX. I have it on disc, which is a copy, and I've got Championship Lode Runner, and I've got I can't remember the other one I've got, but there's a third one as well. Oh, Lode Runner 2. So I've got Lode Runner 2, Championship Lode Runner, but I don't have Lode Runner 1 yet. But it is a really, really good game. There's a really good version on the PC Engine as well. I've got that one as well. Play that one as well. They're just, it can be incredibly frustrating, but that's what a puzzle platformer is all about. They can keep you entertained for hours, and then when you're sick of that, you can make up impossible levels and try them out on your friends. So there we go. I hope I haven't waffled too long, and hopefully I've been able to add in a bit of some screenshots or video into this as well. Great question, NinjaBearHug, and I'll put a link to his original video down below if you want to do a response. Thank you all for watching, thank you all to my subscribers, and I'll catch you all later.